All right, today we're going to learn the halacha when some hamoitzi could maybe be converted to mezonos. In a few scenarios, I'm going to bring a few shilas. It's very common. We take the matzah after Pesach, we make a matzah brei out of it. What's the bracha on this? Also, they sell in the stores the croutons made out of bread, and you see they put some oil on them, maybe some garlic, and so see what the halacha on this croutons made out of bread. Okay, so bichlal, this inyan that's originally brought in the Gemara in two places. One is Maseches Brochas, one Maseches Menachos. It's called such a thing like the matzah brei. It's called chavitza, and that's what the Gemara says. Omar Rav Yosef, that's Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Beis. Hi chavitza. Okay, and at that time, that's what they made out of bread. Some kind of reformed it, remade it to chavitza. The izbe pirur in kazais, if it still has, after it was already bread, it does not. It's not so easy now. It should lose the original bracha moitzi. If you made it to small pieces, you remade it with. Rashi says, what was the idea over there? Not only it's cutting into small pieces. They put something, let's say, inside the where you have the soup, you have the food. You cut it the small pieces of bread over there, and now it's being like recooked. The bread being recooked now, so it's still like this. Rabbi said like this. It is bepirurin kazais betchilam over chamoitz lechem and also man sholosh. If it still holds kazais, each piece of the bread you cut over there into the tilfas and you recooked it, so that would be hamoitzi. It says the less bepirurin kazais, if it's less than kazais, each piece betchilam over chalaborim and amazonos over levasa bracha achas man sholosh. Meaning again, it was the idea. It wasn't just cut to small pieces. It was cut and put back into the ilfas, to the pot, and was recooked. Even though it was already hamoitzi, if it was cooked with lesser than the kazais, then it becomes zoynis. According to this, let's go straight to the matzah brei. If you take the matzah brei, you cut it to small pieces the way they do it, and then they put over there eggs and oil, and they cook it again. That's the ilfas, cooking it. It's in a pot. So that l'choira, if it's smaller than kazais, each piece, that would be zoynis. If it's still bigger pieces, l'choira, bigger pieces than kazais, which is the way they do it, as far as I know, it's bigger pieces than kazais. It's a whole loaf comes out. Okay, we're going to go more details about this in a minute. I just want to bring, it's going to be enough community for us. There's a Tosfos over here. The Tosfos bring one more nakuda. It's also in the Gemara. Omar Rava. Rava says, "V'hu deikale torisa the nahama." When we say when it was more than a kazais, hamoitzi, it still has a shape of a bread, meaning you look at it, you know it's a bread. But if there's no terisa than a hama, meaning it's lost the shape of the bread, it doesn't look like a bread anymore, then it will go to mezonos. Now, there's an important Tosfos of it. The Tosfos says, Nira, the Hainuk shenoistim apirurim b'mayim, you put the pieces of bread in the water. V'mamayim mislabnim machmas apirurim, if the water turns from a clear water, became a white color from the piece of the bread. Also, at that point, the bread lost its shape of a bread, or appearance of the bread. Rabbeinu David from the Bala Tosfos, he used to put at night in a plate, inside a bowl, in a plate, inside water, a bread overnight. He wanted to eat them in the morning. He didn't want to go through washing and saying hamoitzi. That should take more time. He should be stronger to be able to say shiur. That's what it is. According to this, if you left the bread, that's again, we're going to need to know this for the future. We're going to go back to the matzah brei. So comes out if you left overnight in a bowl, bread in a bowl of water, and it's overnight, to the whole the water turned from clear to white from the bread. So the bread at that point lost its appearance. That bread now becomes mezonos. That bread now, and if it becomes so liquidy, if you drink it, it will be shakal even then. But if you eat it, it becomes mezonos. And now we're going to see there's a lot of chilukim over here, but I'm going to go straight to the. One more halacha I want to bring what the Beis Yosef brings from the Mordechai. It's like this. The Beis Yosef bring from the Mordechai, if somebody put also wine on his, if somebody put pour wine on his bread, so that also he says that will change the here. If you put your piece of bread inside the wine, and it became red already. Like you made out of it now, like a cake. Venira, that's the basis of ed. The hanu daka bepirurin, meaning it was smaller pieces in kazais. You know, if you put the whole piece of bread inside the wine, if it's still a piece of bread over there, it stays. It stays amoitzi. Oh, according to what we read at Tosfos, if it was overnight that the whole texture was changed, then it's become. We're talking about if you're just putting a piece of bread inside the wine, it's amoitzi. If it was smaller pieces, that's another eitzah. Somebody, and especially in New York, they came up with this. I spoke about it before, with that fake mazonas bread. Mazonas, it's 100% amoitzi because they don't have time to wash. It's amoitzi. They no rush over there. So here's a kosher way to do it. That mazonas bread, it's not kosher, it's amoitzi. The kosher way to do it, you take a smaller piece of the amoitzi bread, put it inside the wine, and it becomes mazonas. So he's the guy with this halacha. The guy with this halacha, the B'Yosef brings it like this. Here, the way the B'Yosef is like this is Yesh Mish Omer. Shapas Hashori B'Yayin. Then in the Ramo adds over there Odom. The B'Yosef said this also Odom because it's have to get the color, red color. And the Bracha Achas mentions Venira Shen Dvarim Amurim, that the Shulchan Aruch can repeat what it says in the B'Yosef. Ela b'pirurin b'perush and b'kol achas kazais. Again, so if you want to take a bread, make out of it on a bread mazonas, take less than kazais bread, put it inside a red wine, and it's all soaked. That's already become mazonas. And the Mogen Avram adds, the Taz adds, Aval belovon hava dinoi actually slaben hayayin machmas apas. If it's a white wine that doesn't help, that have to be there and wait till the white wine is like a water, and the water, the basis of this the halacha too. Yesh mishomer. It's from the Tosfos. The reason with yesh mishomer, it looks like it's not 100% the basis of masking with it. It's just yesh mishomer. It's soft in this halacha. Yesh mishomer. The pirurin shenoisen b'mayim mislabrin machmas pirurin. Again, it only could happen when you put it mamash like the Rabbeinu David the Balates overnight, a long time till the whole water became. You see the piece of bread over there. Ozale turita, meaning the toyar, the shape of the appearance of the bread went away. Again, like I said, when he brings yesh misha oimer, it's not. He didn't bring it like kula alma, meaning it's a mokim to be machmer. But again, if already people looking for tachbulas to turn the amoitzi to mazoinas, it's either put it overnight over there, either a water or white wine. That's mamish, where there's so many hours it's changed, or you could put less than a kazai's bread inside the red wine, and it becomes, when it's soaked, it becomes zoinus. Okay. Now,
what about oil?
Oh, so now we're going to go to the matzah brei, which is that done with eggs and oil. So it's like this: b'pashtus, if it's more than a kazais, you say moitzi. If you make small pieces of matzah brei, less than kazais, each 1 ounce is less than 1 ounce, the chorah looks like it's mezainis. However, I want to say like this: lamaisa, better to do it this way. Yes, halacha lamaisa, better to do the matzah brei less than a kazais to make it a moitzi. But even when you do it already and it's more, it's lamaisa. If you ask me if it's a moitzi, I say it's more mezainis than a moitzi, and I'll tell you why. For one reason, the matzah shekel brings very strong. Here, Reise besefer even ha'oizer. Shekosav al zeh. V'zel shem v'dvorov and nirinli the shana hosom the chozav v'nidbag adeh afiyu. Aval imidbag adeh bishul lo choshev chibur lemechsheve lechem. Okay. So the Eben ha'oizer writes over there that there's enough kamina if you turn let's say you made out of the matzah. You crushed it. You made bake matzah meal. You made out of it bake of flour, and then you bake it. Yeah, that if you bake it as a bread. But he says over here in this case, it says that's exactly the matzah bread. The bishul. If you brought it back not through baking but through cooking, lachoshiv the lopoka shem lechem al bishul. Yeah, ubenina didan. It's still bread. That's the matzah bread. You put it in the oil, in the eggs, and it's already become so hot, you put it in a hot fire. Miad mikra bishul inyan shinui v'tzura. It's called It's called already bishul. At that point, it's not anymore what it was. The oz miyad lo nasa vaday.
Because it's a new baked good.
Yeah, the oz miyad lo nasa vaday kol kach meher gush echad. Meaning, when you have small pieces with less than a kazais, that's right now the pieces they put in the pot or in the wherever you cook it, it's less than a kazais. Come later on through bishul, it's connect. It says Mimele said. When you cut it to small pieces and you start baking it, it's less than a kazais, you cook what used to be a flour, you crush it, you make matzah meal, and then you cook it. It's not anymore cooking. It's not a bread. It's mazoin. So Meile says, "Oz have a shinu tzura v'gam less bekazais." V'lochen avshin is bashal nacharkach v'nasa gush echad. Since it's already no more called bread. Before it became one big piece of matzah brei, when you cut it to small pieces, you put oil and eggs to it. Start cooking it. There's small pieces over there. He says, "Shuv lo osa mechodesh al Hashem lechem achar bishul." So according to him, that's according to, even though you could argue with this svara, and I'll tell you why I think this is svara, the strong svara, halacha l'maisa. Again, l'chatchila they should do it small pieces. If you need even a big piece with some zoynas, for another reason. B'chlal, his svara, it's like it's no worse than like the balatoises did put in the water and it was reshaped. Over here you crushed it, you put oil in it, it's all reshaped, and it wasn't back to one kazayis because when you start cooking it was at the beginning of the cooking when it's all not hot. It was less than later on it's connected. Now another svara, because if you remember we had the shiur over here that if what the bracha of the matzah during the year, many bring that the bracha of the matzah during the year it's bichlal mezoinus. The matzah itself, but during the year only Pesach it's our bread, it's a moitzi. Even though the Shevet Halevi Rav Osner he recommended because of that machlokes say bracha on a bread, then eat the matzah. Okay, l'maisa in America most people eat the matzah during the year and they say a moitzi on it. To them it's also a bread. But to putting together the two shitas, the shita of the bichlal matzah during the year it's mezoinus. And especially you made out of it now a matzah bread, the shita of the Even Oizer. So before it became one big piece of kazayis, that one big loaf of matzah bread, it was small pieces being cooked in a small. But later it got connected. It doesn't make it back to a bread. It's like lost completely it's category of bread and it's mezonos. So the matzah bread lechatchila do it less than a kazayis. If it became more, it still will be mezonos. I mean, that's what it looks like from here. Now, those croutons they sell made out of bread, they cut them to like croutons. There's tzuras that has a tzuras a pass on it. You see it bread. That should be a moitzi because you see on it it's from a bread. It's a small piece of bread. So that doesn't lose it's chashiva. That's the boss can bring of it. I didn't read the whole thing. And if you, like I said, if you want to say on a bread mezoinus, either put it overnight. That's what the basis. The mechaber says yesh mish oimer, and nobody choyle kanim. It just looks like it's still like this still mokim lahasas and this. And same thing if you want to put less than a kazais, not even more than a kazais mashma. It doesn't bring over here the restriction should be less than kazais by putting the bread in the water overnight. It's become a zoinus. And if you want to put the bread, less than a kazais have to be inside the wine, soak it in the wine, then it becomes zoinus. Again, also brings the yesh mish omer, meaning it's not such a strong, like 100%, but like I said, it's a lot better to have such a zoinus than have this fake zoinus bread, which is a big problem. Okay.